2019, I was really looking forward to see Dave Derr, Empirical. How you doing? All right, so as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Distressor. I have like 6 of them. Everybody knows. I'm fully flagged today, and we're here at NAMM 2019 with Dave Derr. Empirical Lab booth and all the Empirical Lab amazing gear that we have. So we got Distressors, of course, and Fatso. Everybody knows those. I wanted to concentrate.
Does your mom know?
Sorry?
Does your mom know those?
I think she does.
Oh yeah, well, everybody.
But yeah, I mean, what Distressors and Fatso do for drums, vocals, bass, everything basically, it's unique. I would love to know the secret, but it's a secret, you know. But it's an. I was talking to CD here a second ago while we were coming. Like, it's an instant sound, such a recognizable sound, and it's yet so versatile. I don't even know how many records. I mean, I can pinpoint out. Oh, that was a Distressor. That was either was on vocals, either was on drums.
Every now and then I try to do that too. I'm like, I think that's a Distressor on that room mic. You know?
Definitely. That sound. I mean, it's shaped. I would go out and say it's shaped modern records quite a bit.
Thanks.
So, I mean,
you're lucky. That's for sure.
Yeah,
sold a lot.
Yeah, in Never Studio you see a bunch of them. And they're just amazing shapes. Everything. But you have also other products in your line, and they're as good as these two. The Equalizer first, the little frequency. Can you tell me about it?
Sure, absolutely. We actually tried to do something kind of crazy. We know that as time goes by and people shrink their racks, space is very important. Using less of it. So from the get-go, we wanted to have a very powerful EQ. Instead of having to daisy chain maybe 2 EQs to get your sound, we said we want to put a lot of sections in this with a lot of versatility. So we organized it with a single light. We did fit everything in there. You have your input on your left. We try to usually do a left-right flow in all our gear. So inputs on your left, outputs on your right, and we did the same with the frequencies. Generally, the low frequencies are on your left, and the high frequencies are on your right. So this has 8 sections of EQ in it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
packed.
Yeah, it is. And if you open it up, it's packed.
I can't even see
3 PC boards in it.
Wow.
But so we start out with a high pass here. Every section, by the way, is bypassable with one of these 8 buttons.
Individually?
Yes.
Wow. That's a.
And we start with a 3rd order high pass, which is switchable. We give you 8 different frequencies, starting from 30 hertz up to 330 hertz. Very steep 3rd order 18 dB.
18 dB. All right. What I actually love is, if I don't remember wrong, it's located on SSL consoles. It's a familiar sound.
It is.
Yeah, for me, it's a really familiar sound.
And actually, we actually modeled the shape of the 1073 high pass.
Oh, nice.
Only we gave you a lot more sections because we have better technology now.
Yeah, of course.
And again, one of the reasons I don't like stuff that doesn't last long. I like things that 20 years or more. So we actually had a power supply problem on the very first early units that we had to redesign, but everything else is very solid. And part of doing that is we don't actually have a switch here that actually changes the frequency. It's actually digitally controlled. No relays or anything. Very clean. The distortion on the Real Freak is 0.0006%.
That's one thing that I knew about. It was super clean.
It can be very clean. But I'll get to, we do have sections that can color later on. But if you want the clean, super clean sound, it's there. So then the next section, I'm going to go right up section by section. So that's the high pass. Next we have a shelf, low shelf, and a high shelf. And again, I always try to put everything in an obvious position. The high shelf is the higher pot.
Yeah, of course.
Then we have 4 fully feathered sections.
All right.
These have your standard controls, least cut, plus or minus 15 dB. And we do the ranging again from low frequency, low mid, high mid,
They are overlapping, I suppose.
Oh yeah, very heavily. And we also, with the overlap, for instance, if you want to get at, if you want to be very particular, say about 200 to 300 hertz, we overlap them. If you notice, the highest resolution for that band is actually in the low frequency band.
Okay.
Even though 200, 300 is your low mid.
Right.
But then if you look at the low mid goes all the way down below 100 hertz.
All right.
So we give you tricks of how to get really high adjustment and resolution. Little tricks to switch the bands. Then we have low mid, high mid, and high frequency. And we give you, I wish I had a plot, but if you go to online, you can see plots of how narrow we can get.
Yeah.
It's very highly surgical. So 4 bands, fully parametric. Then we have our DS section.
That was about to ask you because I never actually spent that much time with that. I only tried it here and there a couple of times. But one thing that I knew, it was like a lot of people point out the de-esser of this unit as one of the best de-essers out there.
We do. We get that comment.
Yeah.
And it makes me very happy. And we used, we didn't do anything that special for the de-esser. We basically used a crossover. Yeah. So you got your low frequencies and your high frequencies. And you can set that point right here. This is your frequency knob. And it goes from like 830 up to I think it's 15K. So it's a very wide range. What we did do different is we provide 2 modes. One is your standard DS mode. And by the way, we use a blue LED to indicate when you have that section.
Okay.
You can move right here with this blue LED on. It is after all this process.
All right.
If you hit it again, you've actually moved the de-esser before
the EQ.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's one of the things people like about it.
Yeah, definitely.
But then we have a separate mode called high frequency limiter. And this is actually modeled after the Neumann lathe high frequency limiter.
Okay.
People used to like the sound of that when they cut records. Right. How smoothly any high frequency pile up could be smoothly pushed back down. So when you turn on HF limit, you have this high frequency E limiter. All right. Now going back to the DS mode, one of the things that we did, and it's, there is another DS that does it, is so if this is your low frequencies and this is your high frequencies, what we do is in DS mode, it looks for the difference between them. So whether you're very high level or a very low level, it doesn't care. It looks for when this high frequency.
For the ratio.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
When the high frequency exceeds a certain amount, it kicks in.
All right.
So that makes it so that if you adjust the level going into it, the de-esser doesn't need to be adjusted.
Okay. It's program dependent.
Right.
That way.
Yeah, and it basically doesn't care the overall level. It's just looking for the high to low frequency. That's and it works perfectly. Yeah. Like you can turn the input all the way down and still the de-esser doesn't change. That's awesome. And then the other mode works the opposite. All it looks for is how much high frequency is there.
Okay, so it's level dependent how hard you hit the unit.
That's all it is. Just think of it like a knee compressor for high frequencies. That's what it is.
With that. So it's basically, it has a fixed threshold that looks just for how hot the input is.
Yes, and you can adjust that threshold with this.
Okay, and even for the HF limiter?
Yeah, for the HF limiter.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you still have the crossover, but when you do that, if you turn the volume way down in the HF limiter mode, you're going to have to turn the threshold
right, of course,
to make up for it.
Yeah.
But again, there's two different modes that people do really like.
Yeah.
In fact,
but it's very versatile, if anything.
Yeah, it is. Well, when we fit 8 sections in here,
exactly.
When I got done with it, I was like, woo!
Oh, man.
Because it was very hard to do.
De-esser 500 series.
Yes, the Derresser we actually took this section out, and gave you more bar graph read out. We gave you also the ability to listen to what frequencies you're tuning the
side chain.
Yes. We have obviously still have the high frequency limit, which people really enjoy. But we also have mode, if you go to listen, you can actually use this as a low pass filter or a high pass filter.
Okay.
So by using turn on listen with this in, you listen. It's a low pass filter.
Okay.
So you cut out all the highs.
Yeah.
With it out, it's a high pass filter where you cut out all the lows.
Okay. Wow.
So we expanded, took the circuit that everybody liked a lot, and made it more
versatile,
affordable, but also versatile. So.
Affordable. How much is that?
I think the list price is $8.99.
Okay.
But that's cheap.
Yeah, I know. Of course.
We let our dealers mark it up.
I would love to try. And it has we have a instrument.
That's actually on the rack.
Okay. So I was thinking about it. I was surprised to see it. But, yeah, I have 2 free slots. I would love to try those. Yes, for sure. And then the last, our Arousor. I did probably the first review of that. You know what I mean? I got in contact with that. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. And absolutely. And because I just moved back here, I just now, like last week, had my Distressor shipped. So in this time that I was here, where were you? I was in Italy, actually. And, you know, I was running around between Berlin, Paris, and Italy. But
well, you missed a bunch of your friends yesterday. Irko and a whole bunch of people.
No, I met Irko. Irko was with me when I had an exclusive interview with TLA.
Okay.
Yes, and Irko was like in front of the door. Oh shit! So like, I met him, and we were good. Actually, we're gonna do something together with him. Yeah, definitely. So let's do something together, all 3 of us.
Oh, we should.
Yeah, totally.
We were very happy. Irko was here yesterday demoing.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically,
I was saying that I was using that as a pretty much one-to-one substitute to my gear because I didn't have my Distressor here.
Yeah.
And you know, it's impressive. It's the only one that gets you there.
Well, thank you. We actually do like some of the others, but of course, we prefer our own. But basically, it is a Distressor. We didn't call it a Distressor because we licensed that name out.
Yeah.
And we actually went a little, slightly different direction. For instance, we added more ratios. We have 10 ratios as opposed to the Distressor, which has 8. We give you a wider range of attack.
Right.
Goes a little slower than the Distressor. We modified the high frequency detector, so that you can roll off wide range all the way up to 1 kilohertz.
Yeah.
And then with the side chain detector, which is fixed on the Distressor, you just pick that, and it's fixed at about 6K, big wide band.
Yeah.
Affects a lot of frequencies. Here, we give you basically, you can fully adjust the frequency. We do show you with the little blue marks. You can see them. The blue marks right here.
Yeah.
Those are what make it sound like the Distressor.
Yeah, exactly.
but you can vary it a lot.
That's a starting point. That you can, okay, that's what I'm used to. It's my Distressor. Let's experiment from there, which is what I was doing with that totally. And it's really cool. The 1.5 ratio is really cool.
Oh, I use that on
all the time. Yeah. It's totally.
You know that you would think that would be just a matter of adjusting the ratio the same way we did the other ratio. But I found out that didn't really work.
Yeah.
So it's actually a little different algorithm.
Okay.
For the 1.5 to 1.
All right.
That makes it work better on the bus.
Okay.
It's useful in other substrates.
It's a matter of me. How
the D is definitely part of the sound. Much bigger.
Yeah.
And you can go up pretty high on it.
Yeah.
Not really hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing, two other things we brought to it that were not available in the Distressor was attack modification.
Okay.
Which is a very strange little algorithm that basically slows up the very first few hundred microseconds. If you go really high, it's into the milliseconds.
Yeah.
But this really gives you. We discovered this effect of being useful because when I was analyzing some of the older gear that everybody knows and loves, we found that something was happening that they didn't probably need to happen.
Right.
And that was a happy mistake that actually added a nice sound. Most notably, some of the classic compressors from UA, from Valley People.
Yeah, which I love, by the way.
Something, I'm not going to say what had happened, but we found there was something nonlinear going on inside the unit. So I said, that's changing the sound, because I was trying to copy their sounds.
Right.
And there was something snappy in them that we didn't get. So when I started taking my scope,
Analyzing
around, we were able to put it in here very easily. Once I knew what it was. But for a while I was going, what is that? And lastly, the last thing that we really changed so far is the saturation. As you know, on the Distressor, we just give you a couple choices. So we broke that out and a lot further, and basically give you a wide range of distortion control. And one of the things that I love about digital, because I actually started my audio in the digital domain at Eventide. I owe so much to. Yeah, I was at Eventide for 6 years, I think. And my first job was in digital. And the thing that I always knew is that you have the ability to do crazy control curves. By that, I mean these pot curves. Do crazy stuff with them you could never do in analog.
Yeah, that's the beauty of digital, I think.
Yeah, you're not tied to the usual analog components. So just an example, this attack mod pot, very crazy curve, really crazy. It's like, wow. Yes, and the same with the saturation. We want the usable range to be really wide,
okay,
but at the same time, the commonly used range to be very adjustable.
Okay.
So this curve kind of starts off very gentle, and then right at the very end, it's almost straight up. All right. So between about, I'd say 9 and 10. Really.
Yeah.
It's crazy range. But the other thing you can do in digital is if you want to tweak it, let's say I was at 9, and I said I want just a little more distortion. If you try to grab it with a mouse, you might fly way past that. But all you have to do is double click, let's say 9.1.
Yeah, totally.
And there you have, and the same with all our knobs, which you can't do in analog.
Yeah, of course.
They're all precisely calibrated and manually enterable.
Wow. So it's actually, it makes a difference. That 0.1, it will make a difference.
Up there, up the end.
Yeah. Of course.
In the middle, not so much, because it's very...
Yeah. At the end, we're talking at the end.
You know, I quickly found out that with some sources, if you're really smashing it with compression, you couldn't get much saturation with the original range.
Okay.
But I didn't want to lose that useful range.
Yeah.
So I said, let's just, again, digital I said, at the end of the knob, you go up like this, and at the end it goes, woo!
Right. So you just put the crazy part in a small range and left all the space before you play with the yeah, exactly. And one thing that I love, you can go less from the original settings. You know, you added the less part, the separation. I think that is brilliant and so
And again, too, we did as part of that, we put the blue dot for where the Distressor usually works.
That's always my starting point because I know them so well, been using them for years. That's always my starting point. My custom preset starts with the Distressor settings, and then from there on out I move.
You know where you started from.
Yeah, absolutely. And then lastly we have a mix knob on the plugin.
Yeah,
which is
sorry.
Absolutely. No, it's for me it's like so useful, you know, because well, of all my Distressors, I have 2 of them dedicated for mixed parallel compression.
Okay.
So I know how much I use that knob myself because when I don't have the hardware to use that, you know, I'm always there.
And we try to make everything so obvious. A lot of people like there's a little learning curve to get around it. We try to like when some bypass this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, if you put this E button, it goes into an expert mode.
Okay.
And this allows you to perfectly match the compressed to the uncompressed level, which can be a problem in digital.
It can be a problem, yeah.
Especially, this is a true feedback compressor, and they are notoriously unreliable with the output level. So by doing this, you basically match the level as close as you want.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you, again, making things obvious, once you move off the default, you see this turns red?
Yeah?
And if I close this, the E also is red. Yeah. You change something on that expert panel.
So it reminds you went into the expert mode.
Yeah.
Don't forget about it.
And by the way, that wasn't a hard decision because, for instance, with a mix, when I'm doing the testing, I do monsters to testing. One day I was trying to duplicate a test that I'd done a few days earlier.
Okay.
And it was before I made this turn red.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the measurements and I'm saying, this is the exact same thing. And then I go over here and I see this is long, like 9.8.
Yeah. It was enough for making the test.
I threw the test off. I'm just not going to get me again. How do I do that? If I turn the text red, you can't miss it.
Definitely a brilliant idea. Only if with that amount of detailing, research, and using it and testing it.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't hard because I was already, it messed me up.
Of course.
If it messed me up, I knew this box.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to get somebody else too.
That's my train of thought when I do things. Yeah, totally. All right, this was Dave Derr. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, brother.
Empirical Lab. It was a pleasure to meet you, be here, featuring product, and we're gonna see you soon.